Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, Bishop?
I'm wonderful. How about yourself?
Wonderful, wonderful. Welcome to another live episode of Talk Therapy Live. You are with Kimberly B and the Honorable Bishop Marvin C. Bozeman. A beautiful day, and we appreciate you all taking time out with Talk Therapy Live, where it's all the way live and in living color. We have some serious topics, of course, but then we also add a lot of humor because this one is right here. I know he looks serious right now, but don't believe it. Don't believe it at all. You hear what I say? So this is the Honorable Bishop Marvin C. Bozeman, and I want you to know that you are listening to a gold chip communication station. If you want to listen audibly, just go to www.1580thepraise.com and click on Listen Now. But if you're listening in, you're like, oh, I want to join in on this wonderful discussion and I want to see their faces so I know who I'm talking to. You can go to Facebook and go to Talk Therapy Live and join in on this wonderful conversation.
Sounds good to me. You got one already.
One, and who's the first one?
Miss Mary Stevenson.
Mary, does she win a prize for being the first one?
She wins a prize.
Okay.
It's in the mail. It's in the mail.
All right, Bishop. All right, he gonna put it in the mail for you too. All right, the first one. But as you come in, go ahead and click that share button. Click the share button. So I am Kimberly B, owner of Healthy Emotes Counseling Services, and I have with me the Honorable Bishop Marvin C. Bozeman of the Great
Assembly of Faith Church.
AOF.
Yeah.
Assembly of Faith Church. Anything going on?
Everything's going on.
At the church?
Everything's going on at the church. Yeah, I'm happy to be here today on this, what is it, Friday, I almost said Thursday.
Now, you've been asking all week if it's Friday yet, and it's finally here.
I thought Wednesday was Friday. I was hoping for that.
I know. It didn't work out
you
like kept asking.
For sure. But no, very happy to be here on this Friday Talk Therapy Live and sitting here next to the owner of Healthy Emotes. So it's an honor to be here today. Anticipating jumping into the subject topic for today.
Yes. And we understand that May is Mental Health Awareness Month, although we know that it should be every month. We always want to be thinking about our mental health. So we want to talk about life experiences that also impact our mental health. But before we get started, I love this little, I guess it's a poem, but it really gives you something to think about. All right, here it goes. If you always think what you've always thought, you will always do what you have always done. If you always do what you have always done, you will always get what you have always got. If you always get what you always got, you will always think what you always thought. How about that?
How about that?
So hopefully that resonates with us. Well, what do you get from that, Bishop?
Exactly what it said. What you always think, what it say. It kind of gets you a little bit. But no, it's just a place of a person who's afraid of change. It's kind of letting you know that you stay in that same position and situation and never change your altitude, that you always get you what you've always gotten. Yes.
And basically it allows us to know that we are in control, because oftentimes what happens is that we move forward always looking back and always pointing the finger at something or someone else, like I am this way because of.
So you have to take control of it and change it for yourself.
You have to own it, first of all. You have to own it. And we call radical acceptance. You however you got to where you are, you have to own it. And then you can, you talk about changing your altitude.
Yeah. We can call them from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's one of them. It's difficult for some, but try your very best to get unstuck. From a place of thinking. And also
because we've been there, we've been in that place, in that position, oftentimes.
But they different than what they always done. So they always get what they've always got.
But then when can we do differently?
Something major has to happen in order for that to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Major.
And moving forward. We have terrible Wi-Fi issues today. Just hang in there with us. And we spoke last time about several issues that impact our mental health, related. Yes.
Childhood, that nature,
Mm-hmm.
I think it seemed to go on through. And normally start out okay. So if you go back to a mean, angry individual,
But a lot of times when we are in relationships, we're so gaslighted. You know what I mean? And we feel like we're wrong and the other person is right. It's how they present things. Like I can't even give a good example right now, but they can we give them the power to change how we think about who we are in the relationship. So they'll gaslight us, they'll love bomb us, they'll do us wrong, and then they'll like just love on you all day long, and you love that part. And so you don't see,
Yeah.
the negative.
Yeah. You may see, but you're accepting of the negative in hopes of more of the good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Sometimes it goes like that.
Yeah, the good stuff overshadows,
Yeah.
But all of that, you're talking about a state of depression and anxiety because you don't know what's coming from day to day.
Yeah.
You don't know what's coming, and a lot of times people become suicidal and homicidal too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not funny, but seriously, if you're in a toxic relationship, it's not good for anyone involved because now when they're asleep, your mind is going.
Yeah.
Number one, you think about the way of escape. How can I get out of it? And then how can I get rid of this person? So the best thing for you to do is plan a way for you to get out, especially, if you have, if you have children.
Legally.
Yeah, you have to plan that.
Yeah, legally.
Yeah.
Yeah, say that legally.
What do you mean by legally?
Legally. You don't want to get rid of nobody. That means you can put them in some cement shoes and take them down to the river.
Yeah, we're not talking about that stuff.
I'm
about taking a way of escape for yourself. Like the movie says, get out. You want to get out of there. Seriously. So all of these things can certainly impact the mental health. So some of the symptoms of depression that I want to talk about today, Bishop, because it is so weird to me how some people do not know they are depressed because they've been in that state for so long that now it becomes a part of who they are.
They just call it something else or something. I mean,
they just know that they're not really happy, but they've been this way for so long that they just accepted that this is who they are, and when I give them assessments, they're like surprised, like, wow, I had no idea that I was depressed, because sometimes we talk about genetics and how grandpa, this was his demeanor, so we feel like we just take after somebody.
So is that something that can be passed down biologically or what?
Yeah. Depression and anxiety both can be passed down. There are biological components. Genetics is definitely one. Neurological issues, hormonal issues, all kind of factors. Chronic stress can be one. You're under chronic stress. We know that. Stress isn't good for anybody, especially chronic stress. And the thing about chronic stress, you don't realize what it's doing to you until it happens. And when it happens, you're almost too late.
And you kind of have to say to yourself, I'm in control. I'm in control. I'm in control. I'm in control. So therefore you limit the stresses that actually come your way. I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm in control of this. Either I want to be bothered with this individual or I don't. Whatever the case may be, but you have to know that you are in control.
Yes.
Say that, speak it, and set those boundaries.
And then it's very important to realize what you have control over and what you do not.
That's
right?
Good. Yeah.
So what you do not have, you have to pay with letting that go.
Because sometimes you have to go with the flow, huh?
Yes.
Because you can't change it.
That's right. That's
you
right.
Can't change this one. So you just have to know what it is you can and what you can't.
That's right. And that's where the anxiety comes in at, is a need to have control. There's a need to have control, but it's not within your control. It's not within your power to have. And we have all this anxiety. So that's very important to know. So some of the symptoms of depression is withdrawal, You know, you don't want to be bothered with people. You kind of are withdrawn. Now you can be in a group in a room with a
Yeah.
group of people. You're kind of withdrawn
Yeah.
and into yourself. You're not engaged at all.
Yeah.
You, you seem like you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Okay, well, speak to us.
I do. I know. I mean, that's, yes, me not going through anything. It's like, you know, sound like you know.
Yeah. We're at right now about
I'm up in there.
yeah.
Up in the old ass. You know,
they're running that engine 24/7.
So I did that this morning actually when I went in to work, and I said that everything was going on around me. Food was time. What's my man? Al Green. He was singing in the background, and food was being passed around, and all that kind. It was loud and wild, and you know, because I wanted to show myself to be friendly. I wanted to seem like, hey, he's standoffish, or he never comes in here. Never.
Yes.
So I said, let me go in and sit down there, but you know, I was in my own world though too.
You kind of extended yourself,
most definitely,
and you know, because you're a public figure, but by the same strength, you're definitely yourself. You know, you're not. You're more bashful and shy than what people realize. So you did extend yourself to do that. You know, but that's not depression per se.
Okay.
This is like changing who you are. Like if I'm an outgoing person and I love being with people and all that, and then you notice that I'm withdrawn.
And I've learned how to challenge myself in that area.
How so?
Just what I just said. I mean, I've learned how to challenge myself in that area, you know, just kind of be more assertive as to say, hey, how are you doing first? Or go and sit down with a group of people and listen to the conversation and wait for them to see what you have. Just learning how to do that. It's just not my thing to do, you know, because I love being with me and I love me. But you have to extend yourself, to be friendly in order to have friends.
That's so true, so true.
Yeah.
So we have the power to become whomever we want to become, and what you just demonstrated was a measurable growth.
Yeah.
You
and
know,
boy, once I get going,
once he get going, yes.
Boy, listen,
I have to be like, now, baby, okay, you can turn it off now. It's okay, we got you.
It took me a while to get here. I've been trying to get here all day. Now I'm here.
Yeah. So now we're just working on that balance. Just working on the balance. So the withdrawal is one, and if you're that person who you're not a people person, but you want to have friends and you want to be more engaging, or if your job calls for you to stretch out and have people relationships and you're not, you just learn from him that he's not normally that type of person.
Yeah, I mean, because I am a friendly person.
Yeah,
very. Speak to everybody, but as far as just being in the
you're really outgoing with people that you know. Oh, it's no holds barred. You hear me? I'm like this. Like, come on, let's go. But for a room full of strangers or whatever, you know, that's where
now I'm learning how to be.
Yeah.
There you go. Seriously, I'm learning.
Absolutely. Again, signs of draw, isolation, crying spells. And crying spells can be watching a good movie or crying, and you know, you need to check it out and see what's going on.
Oh wow, that was me too before. For sure. Yeah. I gotta catch myself even now. Let me turn the station.
Would you say yours is basically from prolonged grief, or?
Yeah, because I'm telling you, I don't ever believe I grieved properly over the passing of both my grandparents. I don't think I have. I think I have an opportunity to, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, because you still had to
Oh,
continue.
man. Yeah.
You know, especially by being a bishop, you still, you know, were preaching every Sunday. You were still Bible, you know. But would you say that if you had to do it over again, would you grieve different, take the time out and maybe have someone step up?
I don't know. I don't believe I would. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
Because for
I'm
some
not sure.
people, they need to keep moving.
Yeah.
They need to stay busy.
Yeah.
But there are times when you need to stop and deal with your grief.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like just mentioning this just now just did something in emotion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So,
Now, I mean, you can see Kimberly B.
yeah.
as your therapist that I don't do. He need to go see. He needs to go.
Oh man.
Can we encourage him today and say, Bishop, go
Lord
see
have
somebody for your prolonged grief? Let's encourage him, okay? Because he won't take it from me. But this is, it's not just an isolated case. This happens all of the time. All of the time. But what would you say that my quote is true, that whatever you don't address, you get permission to exist?
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
That's true.
So we want to deal with that because it's not going anywhere. It'll go down within, but then it comes up at the most inopportune time. Have to deal with this pill. And it's
not a sad situation for me. You know, I don't get sad. I come overwhelmed with emotion at one time. Like that. So I'm not sad because I talk about them every day. But I think I'm overcome with emotion like that. Not even thinking about it. I can just see a commercial where a father hugs his son or something like that. Kind of overwhelmed with emotion because I remember what I can tell you what his hands felt like. My grandma, you know, both. But I'm just kind of overcome with that because, and I do think I haven't properly. And it's been some time.
We're overwhelmed with emotions. Emotion is, it says.
I don't know how to explain it. I'm not sure. Turn into a live session.
You never know what you're going to get therapy. It's okay though.
It's not a sadness, but it's a missingness.
I was going to say, is that a word?
I just made it up. I'm preaching. Yeah. That's what we do, they say. You know, just that I miss them so much. You know what I mean? So, and maybe that's the cry I needed to get out that I should have gotten out 10 years ago or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it's not a sad thing. It's just my heart get heavy quick.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And this is your homework exercise.
Yeah.
I definitely want you.
Me?
Yes, you.
Oh, it is a session, a live session.
I want you to focus on that on purpose. And I want you to do it like journal, like write down what they meant to you and how you feel about losing them. Yeah. And I want you to be true to your emotions in that moment. You know, if you do it on purpose over time, this is a way that you are going to heal yourself so you're not easily triggered.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So you think by you telling me this on live that you have all these witnesses and
we have support. Do we have support? Just give me an amen if we have support out here.
Oh man.
We have to hold the bishop accountable. Why? Wow. Because we need you, Bishop.
Yeah. So it's not sad. It just hit me.
Yes.
It hit me. And it hit me hard. That's all I'm saying.
Often.
Yeah.
From time to time.
Yes, ma'am.
Those are unresolved issues.
I got you.
They're unresolved issues. Okay. Yeah. I think Mary said this. It's one of the hardest things to get over. And I think too, when you that with being a believer and having faith, sometimes we don't grieve like we would if we didn't have it, because we feel like it challenges our faith.
Yeah.
You know, like when my father passed and I was acting a monkey at the funeral, I was, you know what I mean? And people were like, oh, he wouldn't want you acting like that, or he wouldn't want you crying and all that. I'm getting this out. I'm being true to me. I know how I feel. Now,
those are people that didn't know him well.
Yeah.
You know, because I want to know, how come you ain't crying?
Right.
I'll wake up and be like, how come you
Right.
see who crying, who's not? Well, how come you're not crying? You know, but seriously, I mean, what else is there to do at that moment?
Yeah.
You know?
But that's the thing. Be true to you. Don't worry about other people. You know how you feel.
Yeah.
Like you said, you know how being overwhelmed feels on you.
You changed my whole. And it's cold now, and my voice is a little trembling.
That's all right.
You just changed that quick.
That's all right.
But I'm in control.
Yes, you are.
Leave me alone. Don't talk about it. I'm in control.
So I gave you a prescription.
Yes.
That I really want you to follow.
Yes.
Because whatever you don't address, you give permission to exist. And once it exists with you, it's not going to exist well. It's going to pop its head up.
Most definitely.
All right. So you are in control. You know, I really should get a badge of honor for that. You get a badge of honor looking at your issues face to face and dealing with them, so we can move beyond that.
Yes.
Because remember this, you guys, emotion is energy. So when you think about energy in motion, there's this vortex of energy going on inside of you. Now, this could be where we vibe high, negative about hurt and pain of the past. All of those is not going to increase your vibration at all. It's just going to bring you down. So we want to so that we can be. We don't really know who we can be until we deal with ourselves.
Gotcha.
All right. So,
I feel better already.
Miss Mary, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? This and talking about it.
Yeah.
That's why we call it, because it gets
all clamped together.
Okay.
Body tense.
Okay. I need you to take a deep breath.
I ain't joking, but I'm very sorry.
Yes, very good. And thank you for being open and honest on Talk Therapy Live. That's what we want. But that's what we need. People need the real. They need to know that you know nobody else. And how do we deal with it? How do we deal with it as a therapist? How do we deal with it as a pastor? You know, because people address their issues because of who they are, and that they always have to probably ask you to, you know, it's all you grieve. Okay, to do. It's not an indictment. Yeah. So breathing.
That I'm doing.
Deep breathing. And one of the other things that really impact our mental health, whether we know it or not, it's not just us and you and abused us, all of those turn into something that
Yeah.
we don't like. We know all of that. But unforgiveness will really impact your mental health.
That's huge.
You're really, yeah.
Yeah, because your most cases a person that doesn't trust anyone else. You're kind of angry, bitter, and every relationship, any kind of relationship that you're in, is a trying relationship for the other person. Because you're gonna flip out at times. Why you so mean all the time? I'm not mean. You mean it's the devil.
Yes.
People want to know. So it's
That's
usually
right.
a good reason behind it.
Yeah. Absolutely. And the thing is, again, because you've been mean for so long. For instance, if you were mistreated as a child, and you have anger issues, you know, in school and all that, used to get in trouble or whatever, you're anger in you, and everyone around you that you have anger issues. But because you've been carrying this around for so long, now it's a part of your DNA. It's a part of your makeup. You cannot see it. Why? Because you have not let go of the pain of your past. So forgiveness is so important, and it is so vital. And there's so many things that happen to us when we do not forgive. So,
but it's something that you definitely have to work at. I mean, and you have to, not just one time, but you have to keep working at forgiveness and keep working at forgiveness until it becomes forgiveness.
Yeah.
And I think only you will know when it's really turned into forgiveness.
And when you say keep working at forgiveness, are you talking about when certain thoughts come up, or when certain feelings come up, deal with those?
Just, I guess, all of that involved, just to keep working at it. Because you say, hey, yeah, I forgive you, and for a moment you may think that you do until a situation come up, and you find out, man, I really haven't. But you keep working at it until it becomes forgiveness, until it really becomes forgiveness.
Because
where you don't feel they can't push that, like, you don't allow that.
Yeah, because there's so much intelligence in our bodies, and our bodies will let you know when you have let it go or not. You know, like you said, that you don't have that feeling, or you don't have that thought anymore. You know, that's when I knew I had forgiven my ex, because I could talk to him like he was anybody out on the street. You know, I was no longer just triggered when I would hear his voice. You know what I mean? So your body will definitely let you know. And remember this, that forgiveness does not equate to reconciliation. I mean, it can lead to reconciliation.
Yeah, depending on what the situation is, it can. But again, you're in control of that too. It's not that I'll give you another opportunity to do that all over again to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, hey, I do forgive you as Christ forgives everyone. You know what I'm saying? So I know if I don't kind of look at it from that perspective, then my Heavenly Father won't forgive me. So it's about practicing it and working at it until it really becomes forgiveness.
Right. And that is a good reason to forgive other because our Heavenly Father won't forgive us. And we know we stand in need of forgiveness like every day. So it puts that wedge in between me and God, because I won't forgive you.
And then kind of look at yourself, take inventory of yourself, because you've hurt people too. Right? Maybe not to that magnitude, but I guess hurt is hurt, depends on who it is. So that kind of helps you too to be forgiving towards someone else, I think. When you look at your own faults and, shortcomings and mistakes that you have made, and decisions you made just because you made them.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So it kind of helps you to realize, hey, I'm not all that either, so I
Yeah.
need to probably go ahead and let this go.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I want somebody letting my stuff go too.
That's
I
right.
mean, that's just kind of
Yeah.
like how it works.
Yeah. But forgiveness is, it depends on, because people have different levels.
Yeah, most definitely.
But
But you still have to work at it,
hmm
because it's for you. We always say that forgiveness is for you, it's not for the other person.
right.
So you
Yeah.
got to work on. And just because I don't want to see you don't mean I don't forgive you. It
And
just
that's
mean I don't want to see your face
part of
right now.
forgiveness is treating the other person like with compassion.
Yeah,
That's the hard
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
That's a
yeah.
big, because we are
Yeah.
justified,
Oh yeah,
because you did me wrong.
yeah.
You know,
Man, what's that movie? One of Tyler Perry movie where the husband mistreated the wife, and then
oh,
he somehow got into an accident or something like that, and she ended up
right.
taking care of him.
Yes, yes.
At first she was mean and bitter and made him kind of suffer
Uh-huh.
through.
Yep.
Then she got to a place where she did it for the right reason.
Yes,
Yeah. So yeah,
absolutely.
it takes a minute.
It takes a lot, because again, if we don't forgive, we empower other people to change us, and then we
Yeah.
become bitter, we
Mhm.
become resentful
Yeah.
and angry. And that's what forgiveness basically is. It's letting go
Mhm.
of the intense emotions.
Yeah. Then you don't really like yourself,
Yeah.
for
hmm
that reason, and I wish I could change that. Well, you can.
Yeah.
I wish I
Yeah.
could change that part of me where you can do that,
Yes.
so you can like that part of
Right.
you,
But again, we have to all look at our shadow selves.
Mhm.
We all have a shadow self. We all have that part of us that we don't want to go back to, whether if it's things
Mhm.
that we've done wrong,
Yeah.
or whether someone else has done us wrong in that area. So we don't want to look at that part of ourselves, because there's shame and
Yeah.
there's guilt there. And we don't want to look at that part of
Mhm.
ourselves.
Yeah.
But like you said, it takes work. So it's about turning to that shadow. Can we bring
Yeah.
light to this shadow, this dark part of ourselves?
And if there's been any measurable growth, look at that person who you used to be and
Mm-hmm.
look at who you are now.
Yeah.
So you have to be
Mm-hmm.
somewhat resilient to have gone through what you've gone through. You're not that same individual. You don't have the same thought processes that that person did
Yeah.
during that from that. So now you have to appreciate who you are now, but at the same time forgive who you were in times
Right.
past. It's
Yeah.
just not you now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what do you think about adult children who were mistreated by their parents as children? Say, for instance, you were raised by alcoholic parents, or drug parents who
Mhm.
smoke crack or
Yeah.
whatever, addicted parents. So we know that scenario was
Mhm.
not a stable environment.
Mhm.
We know that they, probably chose their
Mhm.
addiction over their
Yeah.
children. How can you speak to the adult person now who have been misused,
Yeah.
abused, neglected by their
Yeah.
parents today are
Mhm.
still the same?
Yeah.
So they're
I,
getting triggered all the time.
and I've seen a lot of people turn that into laughter,
Mm-hmm.
or as you were saying earlier, you kind of feel sorry for them.
Okay.
They kind of accept what it is. Hey, it is what it is. This is who they are, and they hate the situation. They wish that they could have a better relationship with. And I've seen a lot of people just kind of turn it around a little bit and use it as sometimes comedy material. You
Mm.
know what I mean? That's their way, I
Okay.
guess, of dealing
Of
with it.
dealing with it.
Yeah,
Do you
because you
think,
do have a choice.
right? Yeah.
You
Do
know,
you think that they should still have a level of expectation from their parents, like as far as their relationship,
I
having the
do.
closeness?
Yeah, I think there's always hope,
Mm-hmm.
for that to change.
Yeah.
It depends on the situation. Maybe a short window or a
Mm-hmm.
span of time. I wouldn't stop looking for it.
Yeah.
At the
Yeah.
same, I just wouldn't stop looking for it because it could happen.
Yeah.
You know,
And that's so.
or it may happen in spurts.
How
It
so?
could happen. You know, it could be a day where it's been a good day with you and your parents. You know, where man, they're just loving person, and you kind of like, who is this?
Yeah.
Enjoy that little bit of moment because they're trying to come out of their shell that they've probably been in. Because remember, a lot of times they're working from a place of guilt too.
Mm-hmm.
Guilt and suffering,
Mm-hmm.
remorse, all of that
Yeah.
for how they, you know, raised their children or did not do it.
And
So they have to feel
addiction,
something.
addiction
Yeah,
is so hard to come
yeah,
out of, and especially if they've been addicted for
yeah.
a long time,
Hmm.
9 times out of 10 going to
Yeah.
change.
And they do love you, but this habit is overtaking them.